Presentation, thank you. So our next speaker is Muireann RAGHALLAIGH from University College Dublin. Muireann.
Many thanks, Joe. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so thanks very much for the invitation to speak today. So I'm Muireann RAGHALLAIGH and I'm an assistant professor of social work in University College Dublin. And I work closely with Joe on our University of Sanctuary activities. So I'm just going to speak briefly today about different activities within our university. Obviously UCD and Dublin is located on the periphery of Europe, so we don't experience, I guess, many of the challenges that our, some of our colleagues have spoken about this morning in other locations in Europe. But we have, asylum seekers and resettled refugees in Ireland, and we're doing, we have some initiatives to try to respond to the challenges that those individuals and families face. So just to talk firstly, I'm having the same problem about moving my screen, just 1 second. Sorry, I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second and try to move back. Okay, so in UCD we are recognised as a University of Sanctuary. So for anyone who doesn't know, a University of Sanctuary is a stream of the Cities of Sanctuary movement, which started in the UK in Sheffield in 2005. And this is a movement that holds the vision that the nations involved will be welcoming places of safety for all and proud to offer sanctuary to people fleeing violence and persecution. So from the Cities of Sanctuary initiative, Places of Sanctuary was subsequently founded here in Ireland. And then from that, the Universities of Sanctuary started to be recognised within Ireland. So Ireland's first University of Sanctuary was Dublin City University, another university in our capital city. And now 7 of the 9 universities in Ireland have University of Sanctuary status. So University College Dublin, our university, became a University of Sanctuary in March 2018. And the University of Sanctuary status lasts for 3 years. And I suppose within that period of time and in order to get the status, you're expected to demonstrate 3 principles of the status, and they are to learn, to embed and to share. So I'm going to speak about each of those now in relation to some of our activities in UCD. So in terms of the learn principle, I guess some of these are kind of obvious things that many universities are doing. So for example, ensuring that you have modules and lectures in relation to forced migration. So like many universities, we have programs that have content in relation to forced migration across different subjects within the university. Of course, like has been spoken about before, also academic research and dissemination. So quite a lot of research has been conducted in UCD about the experiences of asylum seekers living in Ireland and the experience of refugees. And then I suppose conferences and seminars organised by the university in conjunction with NGOs and in conjunction with refugee activists. So we'd have quite a strong tradition of that. And so for example, this Friday, there's a webinar being organised by our colleagues in the School of Law with an NGO in Cork in Ireland in relation to a plan to change the accommodation that's provided to asylum seekers, the direct provision system, and when asylum seekers arrive in Ireland. Then we also have within the learn principle, I guess there's quite an emphasis on student-led activities. So we have a number of student societies, including UCD Fáilte Refugees, which is a student society. The word Fáilte in Ireland means welcome, and it's a society that was set up by students in UCD, and there's branches of it in other universities as well. And they would often organise a refugee week, and within that week would have seminars and events to try to promote awareness of sanctuary and of forced displacement within the community within UCD, and I suppose with a particular focus on the student community. And these refugee weeks would often have refugee activists themselves involved in sharing their experiences. Staff attending conferences and training, and then bringing back learning. So I suppose me bringing back some of the learning from today's seminar would be really important. And then of course just student theses and dissertations. So supporting students to be able to conduct research in this area and to, I guess, grow a new generation of researchers who are interested in issues around forced migration. So the second principle is the principle of embedding and direct action. So this involves, I suppose, trying to embed the concepts of welcome and inclusion within the university community and within the surrounding community, or the community that the university shares. And I guess a key principle of this, and a key requirement to have University of Sanctuary status, is that the university would provide scholarships to refugee students or students from a forced displacement background to be able to access the university. So UCD has a very strong tradition of trying to reach out to underrepresented groups within Ireland. So within this University for All principle, and the University for All is part of our strategic plan. So it's really, really is embedded within the university structures. So within this initiative, we've provided scholarships and supports to asylum seekers and refugees. So most asylum seekers in Ireland wouldn't be, they would be entitled, they could come to university, but they would be subjected to non-EU fees, which of course is out of reach of the vast majority. And even people who have refugee status are often not able to come to university because of financial barriers, and because they may not have been in the country for long enough to be able to avail of supports that other students can get. So within the provision of scholarships, we provide fee waivers and also financial support, and a key worker who works with students to try to ensure that they can continue to be involved in university life and to do well in their studies. Other kind of direct action involves like volunteering and fundraising, staff and students being involved in this, so involved in initiatives to perhaps, at the moment, for example, students are involved in an initiative to provide Christmas presents to asylum seeking children who are living in our direct provisions system. Students and staff have been involved in fundraising with NGOs, so for example, running marathons to be able to raise funds for organisations working with refugees. And then university units working with asylum seekers to help with upskilling. So we've heard from Amal and from other speakers in relation to, the barriers that asylum seekers might face. So our university, for example, our career development unit has, in conjunction with an asylum seeking activist organisation, organised a seminar on CV and interview preparation for refugees within the community. So not students of UCD, but just the general population of asylum seekers in Ireland. And then supporting, like we've just heard, we've done a very small bit of work on supporting refugee background academics to get back into academia, with somebody arriving, a Syrian refugee and her family arriving through the CARA programme, which I think is another initiative similar to Scholars at Risk. And then the third principle is the principle of sharing. And I suppose this is the idea of trying to share the learning from our university with others within society. So for example, we have as part of Universities of Sanctuary, Ireland has a Universities of Sanctuary steering committee who meet regularly, so representatives from the different Universities of Sanctuary, and we share our experiences and of course also the challenges that we face. So for example, having scholarships for asylum seekers and refugees does pose challenges as well. So the students themselves experience challenges, staff experience challenges, and we try to share our experiences and learn from one another in relation to that. Other ways of sharing, so sharing with the public. So for example, providing public seminars to try to share learning and try to raise awareness about forced displacement issues. Engagement with media. So, a lot of academics within our university engage with media in relation to debates around asylum seekers and refugees. Sharing with non-governmental organisations, so for example, academics serving on the boards, you know, on a voluntary basis on the boards of organisations, perhaps speaking at events. Myself and Joe, for example, are involved in an organisation that's helping with the rollout of community sponsorship for refugees in Ireland. So where communities sponsor refugees to come to live in Ireland from refugee camps in different locations. So trying to share some knowledge and expertise and trying to contribute to these organisations. And then sharing with asylum seekers and refugees themselves. So for example, we've one member of staff who runs a cultural programme in a reception centre for asylum seekers. She attends there and gives classes and organises events that I suppose help asylum seekers and refugees to understand about Irish society and about Irish culture and so on. So it involves, for example, before COVID, it involved trips to maybe museums or different places of significance in Ireland. And then access, for example, we have a UCD Applied Languages Centre, so access to the Applied Languages Centre so that refugees and asylum seekers can learn English. And then finally, just around sharing with government and with policy makers, and we've touched a little bit on this previously, and the difficulties that there can be in trying to shape policy. So I suppose some members of our university have sat on government committees to try to inform how policies develop. And also we've made policy submissions. So based on research, policy submissions have been made by academics to try to shape the future of how asylum seekers are supported when they arrive in Ireland. So they're just some of our initiatives at UCD. So Gora Mahagav, thank you.
Thanks very much, Muireann. And our next speaker then from the Free University of Berlin.